Like we're getting Amy back. She must have been kicked out and then.
Yeah. Welcome back, Amy.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry. I think I'm having computer issues. I was on a meeting this morning and all I could hear was static every time someone talked.
Oh,
And the same thing happened when I signed into this meeting. So I think maybe it's my computer.
does it
So
sound good right now?
yeah, I'm on my phone now. I signed in on my
Ah,
phone. So I decided after this morning's issue and then a repeat this afternoon. I thought it's definitely probably my computer and
mhm.
I need to get it checked. So, so I'll deal with that another day.
Well, your phone is a good place to grab this QR code. You don't have to do it with the QR code. You can just hold something up to the screen, draw a quick sketch. Um, and we're looking for something that shows an array. This is a routine called Off You Go. This is an example array here with the window winterish scene there. It's spring outside my window though.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, mine
what
too.
what arrays can you find in your environment and or create one and bring it back to show us? Here's the QR code again. And I'm going to put the link in the chat again. And I'm going to go over to that activity and see, oh, we have got something already. We've got clouds with smiley faces all arranged in a pattern, and it's a pretty predictable pattern, I see. And I lost my pictures. There we go. Welcome, Erin. I'm going to put the link in the chat again. I know you're familiar with this routine. So hopefully y'all are not too far away from your computers to hear it. Um, this is the off you go routine. We're looking for an array. You have the option to participate using Padlet. There's a QR code on the screen and a link in the chat. And you're looking for an example that's an array. We had the window panes as one example in the slideshow. And now we have a laundry basket and some kind of like water holder. So thank you, Amanda. You can do the off you go routine to have people bring back something that's a certain measurement. I love that idea. Have you done that with teachers or students, Amanda? Go back to the slides. Oh, I just lost my pictures of you. There we go. So this is an option for Padlet or for holding something up to the screen. So I invite you, if you're back with your array, to show us.
And Connie, while we're waiting, I just want to make another final announcement that that's okay about our interesting bot situation. Just a reminder, I think most people on here have already introduced yourself or turned your camera on to show us that you were here. If you have not yet introduced yourself in the chat, please do so. So we can ensure that we don't have any bots amongst us today and we are all human beings engaged in this wonderful math time that we're starting out with. Thank you.
And Kate, thanks for joining us. I just put a, a I'm laughing about that. I'm not a bot, I have dice. Um, I just put the link to what we're doing in the chat that you see on the screen, but you can also use it through the QR code, or you can just hold something up. And thank you to those of you who are introducing yourself in the chat. Thanks, Danielle. Um, so yes, we have noticed that sometimes we have somebody who has their camera off, and it turns out that they're not somebody. They're a bot recording the session and posting it on their website, which is not okay with us. So thank you for verifying your identity. I think we're probably set now. We put one in the waiting room, and that's probably handled since bots seem to never be late. So we'll find out if that changes. But so I'm screen sharing. Oh, and I was blocking the dice, but I see them now. Um, that there possibly two arrays there, or like a array of four or array of six. But also maybe that the dice themselves maybe are an array of two. Does anybody want to hold something up to the camera and show us a physical thing?
Oh, can you see it?
I can. We can also spotlight you for everyone if I'm fast enough to figure that out.
Oh,
Oh, it looks like a tread.
it's like a sensory, like fidget worry stone. It's silicone, and so
Oh,
then on
yeah.
the other side it's raised, and like
Oh,
this side
neat.
it's inside. Yeah, so yeah.
I don't know what it says about me, but I thought of a
Unique.
waffle cone, and so perhaps I'm needing ice cream. That's what
Yeah.
that made
It
me think of.
definitely has waffle cone vibes.
That was cool. I have quite a fidget collection, but I've not seen that one.
I thought it was a cookie at first, so I also was looking for edible arrays. Like an edible arrangement, but an edible array.
Neat. All right. So this is the off you go routine, but we're going to do our more official introduction with Jennifer.
Yes, hello. This was an exciting activity to get started with. Thank you. Just want to welcome Heidi Schuler and Connie Rivera back again with AALPD. If you were not with us last month for our webinar, they actually hosted a supporting numeracy PD 60-minute webinar. So we're really grateful for both of you to be back again today for strategies for developing new and emerging math instructors. I am going to be super fast with our introduction because we're already involved in math and figuring things out. So I don't want to hold that up. We are AALPD, which stands for Association of my gosh, I just got tongue-tied. Sorry, Literacy for Professional Developers. I always get it tongue-tied. It's a very long title. So we want to thank you for being here today. And I just wanted to review our purpose. We create community amongst PDers. So this is a network for professional developers in the field. We provide professional development for professional development practitioners. That is the goal. And then finally, I think we have a third there, right? We do set standards for PD and adult education that's based on research from the field. And most importantly, we are just a great network of common-minded people who are in this profession to make a difference. And it's all based on volunteer. So we are free. So we're happy you could be here today, Heidi and Connie. I don't want to take up any more time, so you can go ahead and jump right back in.
Thanks, Jennifer. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Strategies for Developing New and Emerging Math Instructors, particularly focusing on instructional routines as a high-impact entry point to conceptual math instruction, which is at the core of how the research and it informs the research and practice that we do with the Adult Numeracy Network. Both Connie and I have been past presidents of the ANN board, and I know for me, it was a lifeline when I was the only math instructor across my program, and I was looking for more ways to enhance my instruction and learn new practices. And so ANN is a wonderful nonprofit professional organization for those of us who get to work with adult math and numeracy instruction in adult ed. We have membership all around the world, and we have wonderful affiliate partners like National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. We are a part of that organization, as well as National Coalition for Literacy, which hopefully you're plugged into with a lot of advocacy work right now. COABE, Links, all of these partners, and our international partner that does majority of the research in this field, Adults Learning Mathematics. We are excited to get to bring to you today some experiences with working with instructional routines. And the first one you just experienced is the one we're going to tackle first. Connie, next slide. So the activity you just went through is called Off You Go Experience. And a couple of things I'm just looking for from you. You can come off mute. You can put these in the chat. What does it feel like to be doing math in the way that you just did? Engaging in an activity that had you looking for something, bringing it back, sharing it in a virtual space, or just coming off, showing yourself on a camera. What does it feel like to be doing math in this way? And then what could you learn about arrays doing something like this task?
Heidi, while everybody gets a chance to think, I want to point out that we had a comment early on, but I'm not sure if people had joined yet to see. And it was the idea that Amanda has used this before, but instead of bringing back an array, brought back something that is 10 milliliters or 1 liter to do measurements.
Excellent. Amanda, I would love to hear if you want to come off mute and just say more about what was that in the context of math or science or both, or context of a career?
So we were doing a lesson where we were converting different metric measurements, and a lot of my students were having trouble kind of visualizing what 10 milliliters meant. So it helped them get, the idea of what things you could measure with each. But then we talked not just about like the volume measurements, but talked about, centimeters versus meters, and kind of got them to start thinking about the way that things are measured and why you might want to use one versus the other, just kind of getting them thinking at the beginning of class. And we were all also trying to get to know each other, so it was cool for them to be able to bring things from it was a video Zoom class, so they were able to kind of bring in a little bit of their life, so we had a better sense of community.
That's great. Amanda, thanks so much for that. And some of the things I was hearing from you are also being picked up in the chat from, we have Elizabeth and Aaron sharing about that getting to find authentic things that are around you. So you start connecting your classroom math to the everyday world around you, and you start seeing it. It becomes a little more of a connection all the time, not just in a specific time and space of a fixed classroom. And Aaron talking about that it's exciting to be able to share something that means something to you. It's personal, and you're not worried so much about what's the right answer, but just something that you discovered. And it creates context outside of maybe what was familiar to some, and helps them see other ways of applying it. So thanks everyone for sharing on that. Connie, you want to do a little more on your end?
Sure. And I just want to point out that you might have come in here not knowing what I meant by array. And maybe if you didn't see the word written, you might have thought a ray, which would be a different geometry thing. So there's lots to sort out. And the reason why we're introducing strategies for developing new and emerging math instructors through this way is that we think that instructional routines are the answer for how we can collect students' thoughts and turn those into what are the big ideas about mathematics. And we didn't carry this further. It's just a quick taste of the activity. But from this, students can learn that they can individually count something. And then they can start noticing that there's a pattern, and I could count in some kind of groups. And in an array, it's often rows and columns. And that's a way of going from counting to additive thinking. And then they might notice that by multiplying the dimensions, you could find out how many there are. But that's a step that we too often skip, oh yeah, I just apply this procedure about multiplication. And so to be able to build these steps toward proportional reasoning is a big idea of mathematics. We also might notice that two numbers can be multiplied in any order because you might have been doing your columns and then rows, or rows and then columns. And it can be modeled in any orientation, and that numbers can be broken apart and grouped in different ways to make mental calculations simpler. You'll see more of that in the other routine that we're going to share. So the off you go routine is simply this. We'll give you links to it when you get to sharing an Adult Numeracy Network slide. So you're showing the concept, and by this I just showed just one window picture, but then if you were a little bit later on to the Padlet, you started seeing other examples. And the laundry basket one was there before you started. So there were two ideas, and then you just say, okay, off you go, and have them look for it. And it's perfectly fine if people come back with an example that is one where it helps you to refine the vocabulary of what that definition is. And then you share and have a discussion.
Thanks, Connie. So when we're talking about instructional routines, we have a couple of different hats on. One is a professional developer facilitating things. How do we want to engage in the workshop space to get people trying out the thing that we want them to have in a classroom? But also, how do they share it with the teachers that they're going to be supporting when they go back? So for the teacher, we're thinking of instructional routines as these habits of mind, these habits of instructional routines and behaviors. And how is it that we can get teachers to begin using them? What would it take to get them to start incorporating it into their everyday practice? Helping them to see that when they're delivering instructional routines, they're listening more than they're talking. They're listening for the connections from the participant, whether it's a student or an instructor that you're supporting. They're reasoning behind it, the strategies that they chose, and valuing what they bring to the table in those conversations, because there's a lot that we learn as the one receiving the information about what they have, their strengths that they bring to the table, the things that we can connect it to in the everyday world for them, and the places where the mathematical ideas are still forming and where they're already built that we can continue to strengthen and build onto. And then why are we looking for instructional routines? What's the purpose of this? Especially when time is such an important piece of the conversation. Teachers are always saying, I don't have time to do this. Why is it worth the time? And I would say that probably the biggest part of that is there's no one way to do math, to get an answer in math. And there's rich learning that we gain in listening to how people approach the math and the ways that they're solving it. So why wouldn't we want to give time for that? Because it actually helps us better understand in a formative way what our students and participants already are working from, and helping us to see the connections between the people in our room and are in our spaces, to see that their strategies may be very different, but they're listening to each other and building upon that knowledge. And there's a lot of flexibility in how we get there. And I think the best way to help you understand these two questions called Dot Talks.
Okay. Thank you, Heidi. So we're looking at these because they're a high impact entry point for conceptual instruction. And so we're going to dive in and show you a talk. It's going to be fast forwarded, but hopefully we'll have a chance for everybody to respond in one way or another. And the thing I'm going to do is show you an image. And I'm not going to show it to you very long because I don't want you to have enough time. I'm going to try to time that. It's hard to do. I don't want you to have enough time to be able to count individually, but find some way to tell me how many are there. So I'm going to put this image on the screen, so get ready to see it, and then think about how you saw it. In the end, you'll have more time to look at it and you'll know exactly how many there were. Oh, my click didn't work at first, so I gave you longer than I planned on. Unfortunately, that means I might not have any wrong answers, which, but so I'm wondering how many dots you saw. Feel free to unmute because we're fairly small, or drop it in the chat. How many dots did you see? And we're getting the answer right out there right away because it's going to be the least interesting part of this. Ooh, a description. So I see 10. If only I could have clicked back faster. So I'm gonna 10 probably, so blocks of 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go to another slide right here. And I put this pattern repeatedly so that I can draw on it. And I'm gonna go back to my other mode in the PowerPoint so I can draw on it. So I am not sure where you saw yours, Amanda, so I'm going to call you next. But Danielle, I think I know what you're telling me. So the 2 blocks of 4, is it this? 1 block of 4, 1 block of 4, and then some extras. Okay, so here's the some extras, and that part you weren't totally sure about. So you saw the 4 blocks first, so 4 plus 4, and then maybe the some extras, and I'm just going to put a question mark. It turned out to be 2. Oh, that's what Amanda was describing with different words. And so you know now that it's 10. I'll just write a 10 here. Saw it vertically. I'm going to look back at Amanda's words. 10 minus, oh, 4 and 2 extra. Okay. All right. Keeping up with the chat. I saw it vertically as 2, 3, and 2. I think that this was I need to open my chat bigger because it keeps getting
I saw this is Amy. That's who I put the 2, 3, 3. It should
okay.
be 2, 3, 3, and 2. So I saw it vertically. My eyes kind of goes up to down. So I saw it 2, 3, 3, 2.
Okay. So 2 plus 3 plus 3 with an extra lump. I'm still learning how to use this pen. That's a plus.
I can share what's in the chat if that helps, Connie. Or you're
Sure. I
welcome.
missed who was it was Amy just shared the second one. Amanda and it was it Danielle that shared the first one? I was putting names, but
Danielle did the 2 blocks of 4 and then
okay.
some extras. Yes. And Amanda said hers was similar to that.
Okay. All right. And then we've got another one.
Yes.
Here, images of groups of
Elizabeth?
5.
Yeah. That were mirror images, is how she said it. I saw 2 groups of 5 that were mirror images.
So is this where it's split?
I saw the horizontal split. But yes, but mine was horizontal.
Okay. Nope, we're changing it because that's different.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
So did you see that as 5 right away?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 plus 5.
Aaron also said, I also saw 2 mirror images of groups of 5. I wonder if we saw it the same way.
Aaron, which direction?
I did see the same line of symmetry that Elizabeth did.
Okay.
Well, not line of symmetry, but I saw the same kind of division between them. And but I think I did. If I were going to write an expression, I would say it was 2 plus 3 and then doubled. So I saw the group of 5 on top as 2 plus 3, and then I saw there was a sort of a rotation of that group underneath.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. I saw it. That was not the way I saw the 2 and 3.
Oh,
I saw a row of 2 and then a row of 3. It's horizontal groups. Yeah,
aha.
like that.
Fixed.
Amber says, I saw 10 with a diagonal of 4 and then 2 rows of 3 on either side.
Okay, so the 4 came first.
Thumbs up
And
from
then
Amber.
2 threes also equals 10.
Very cool. That's all we
Thumbs up.
have in the chat.
Good. Okay. Did anybody else want to share? So if you continue to give people time to think of a second way and have a larger room, you will find that there are even more ideas than what we have here. Back to I had an extra just in case. Okay.
What I find fascinating about doing this dot talk, which I've seen that one before, is I still learn something every time someone offers it up. I'm like, oh, there's another way. Like Amber, the one you just did. I've not seen that. Same for Elizabeth and Aaron.
So notice that we gave people credit for their work. I think I missed an extra loop in Danielle, I'm sorry. And we represented it with a picture, and we also represented it with an expression or an equation. Okay.
So given what Connie was just showing us and summarized right there, what is it, back to that question of what does it feel like to be doing math this way? And what math are we looking at when we're doing things like this dot talk? You're welcome to come off mute or chat. We're a small group today. What does it feel like to be doing math in the way that we just did? And what could we learn about the math in the dot talk? Amanda's saying, I really like being able to visually see all the different ways. I agree. In the past, I've just erased one method to show the other. Cool. I'm going to add on to Amanda's. I really liked that Connie had slides built with the faded dots. I've not done that before, and I'm going to use that from now on because I struggle to be quick with my illustrations. Amy's saying it does feel as it doesn't feel as mathy, or it does feel just as mathy. Amy.
Sorry, I think I have a typo. It doesn't feel
It
as
doesn't.
mathy. Yeah,
Can you
because we're
say
looking at
more? Yeah.
dots and images rather than a written out equation. As soon as students see written out equations, they get glazed eyed. But this doesn't feel as mathy. That's a student term. That's what my students in the past use. And it doesn't feel mathy if they don't see equations and math problems written out. This feels more like we're doing something almost like a competition or a game, or it doesn't have that mathy feel to it.
Yeah, and I like the what you're bringing up is actually we're using the words of the students, you being the students, we're using your words and then translating those into these expressions. And I see connections to the math of expressions, order of operations, writing the expressions, but those are coming directly from the language that's provided. So it is helping us see the mathy side of our voice and the way that we're visualizing it to make sense of the things that you're bringing to the table, that they're mathy things. And don't be ashamed to share it loudly because it does connect to the math. Elizabeth is saying it is empowering because there wasn't a wrong way to see it. I agree. It's also empowering because you see that your way was validated and it connected to somebody else's, or it was a whole new way that someone else hadn't seen. And it reminds us that math can be solved in multiple approaches. So seeing Jennifer saying, I like that it shows a variety of patterns within one single image, indicating the multiple ways of doing something. Absolutely, 100% agree. So thank you for sharing in on that reflection. It was a very quick time. That's the other part about a dot talk that's nice is it doesn't take a bunch of time to explore this and get people engaged. And even if someone sees it the same way, they're still learning. Maybe their way that they talked about it is slightly different, and that validates it. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah. And there are also big ideas that can come out of a math talk. The idea that the order that we decided to count, or even how I was representing, doesn't matter. It did matter when we added multiplication in, but depending on the level of students, I could have written the 2 plus 3 twice. And in the end, all of those different expressions equal the same total. That we can represent the number 10 in all these kinds of ways, and we can describe it and talk about it in those ways. We can decompose the numbers, and there's almost an infinite number of ways we could have written just for 10. Reminds me of another routine called number of the day, and that we can break them apart and group them in different ways to make mental calculations simpler. And that becomes very helpful for math later on. There we go.
So connecting this back, the routines that we just did and the ways that we're describing and debriefing this connects back to research. There is a wonderful research article that we'll share in the resources at the end. We often reference it as the Darling-Hammond article, and it's the effective teacher professional development. There's 7 different characteristics of it. And within this one routine, we're seeing a good number of those 7 effective practices. Not all of them because of the timing, but it often instructional routines are content focused. And so we focused on math, but many of the instructional routines can be done with other subjects, ELA, ESOL instruction. So you're using vocabulary, you're using language. Science, social studies. So it isn't necessarily they all belong to math. We like to think so sometimes, but they cross sectors as well. These models are also curricular in nature, that the routines themselves are a model of the components of curricula and the designs in which we're hoping teachers go back and put these into practice. We're modeling really good teaching practices. We're talking about sharing strategies, representing student thinking. We're showing connections between the conversations. It also gets us doing the work. And so when we are the student, behaving in the ways that we're looking for our students to behave, and we're engaging in that wait time and asking thoughtful questions and listening to responses, making connections across, we as the teachers are engaged in that active learning, just that we want to see with our students. And in the instructional routines, the way that it's being used, when a teacher starts using instructional routines in their classroom, they're embedding that math thinking directly in the context of something that is relevant. We're also connecting to the why of the math, the concept, putting it into practice immediately. This gives the participants, whether it's teacher or student, the opportunity to learn, practice, to implement, and then reflect on it. And that feedback that you were giving in the chat, but also coming off mute and sharing, that is an effective practice all in its own. It is a way for us to get support for our own instruction. It gives us valuable feedback. It helps us create community. I heard that earlier in the, and it gives us a way to connect workforce when it's appropriate, where those job embedded skills, the durable skills that we're learning so much about and needing to showcase in the classroom, it's a place to point those out and say, these are the things that you're using beyond a classroom. You're using it every day in your work life and in your family life. And so what this ultimately is doing is we start to see our goal for math instructors is this shift in their orchestrating of sense making in the classroom rather than just getting answers, and helping to make reasoning and explanation from the students' behaviors, which is ultimately what we want, not just passing a test.
Just getting that
So,
link.
yep. So we're about to move into some breakout rooms because we want to give you a chance to explore things a bit more. We'll have 2 separate breakout rooms, and they are both going to be focusing on the Adult Numeracy Network Instructional Routines page. This is a free public-facing page that you are welcome to use and share widely within your network. We have 34 right now curated instructional routines that our webmaster, 35. Mark Truszkowski has done a great job of organizing these and helping us gain access to them pretty quickly. And so we're going to take time to go into 2 different spaces with Connie and me. And one of the spaces, Connie's going to be giving you a chance to explore those 35 instructional routines. You will not have time to go through all 35, but you may look at some and say, oh, that one's, I'm curious about that topic. Click on it, dig in a bit deeper. Connie's there to answer questions, but also to help guide if needing guidance. I'm leading more of the philosophical discussion about instructional routines. Why do we want to do these? And why is it worth our time? Where is the high impact entry point? What does that mean? What does it look like? Particularly when we're focusing on the why of math and not just the how of math. So, Connie, we're going to split off, and we're going to also do a debrief in there versus coming back as a whole group. So,
Well, we'll come back as a whole group before we end, but
yes, yes, the debrief will happen in small space. How much time are we still looking at? About 14? Nope. Yeah, about 14 minutes.
yeah, Jennifer has them set.
Okay. So choose your own adventure. You can go explore or you can discuss.
Okay, I will
We'll
open
see you soon.
rooms.
as with all breakouts, you never have enough time. We were having great conversation about releasing your anxiety when you do an instructional routine, that you're not going to have all the answers and you'll be okay. And so will everyone else. Amber's come up with a cool template. I'm hoping she'll share once she knows if it works.
A template for what?
Oh, sorry, Amber.
It's okay. I developed a course and it has some showcases some instructional routines.
Mm-hmm.
It just released this week, so it's very new. It's a brand new baby course. But it showcases some instructional routines, and I had heard some feedback from instructors when I proposed to them using instructional routines that they were looking for a little bit more of like a plan or a structure to be able to use them. And so for one of the ones that I highlighted, I gave them like a planning template that is kind of like, okay, the one I was doing was numberless word problems. So it kind of just gives them some boxes to fill in so that when they walk into class, they feel like, okay, I'm prepared as much as I can be for like what my students might say or what I'm going to say at this point, and so on and so forth. Especially because the course I developed is not specifically it is not only for people who teach math, it is for anyone integrating numeracy into their classes, which is at this point should be everybody. So in adult ed.
Very cool.
I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, and this is one of the benefits of being in organizations like AALPD, but also ANN. We all like to share resources versus reinvent the wheel. So being in communities like this is really important. Professional learning communities for us is extremely important to spend time in. So you're going to get this list. We're going to post it in the post discussion on the AALPD forum. And but you've seen a lot of these throughout the day today, and then in our session last month. One of the resources that I'll point out under the professional development principles is where you'll see what informs our work, and how do we know what gets through in the math and numeracy strand at COABE, for example. We vet all the proposals that come through, and we have our own rubric, but we also have a set of standards that we're following. So we'll go through, you'll get these to follow up with and see other ways to learn. First one on the list is this one, the Instructional Routine Club. Aaron Liu, who's on this meeting, and Mark Truskowski run this. This is a new thing. We've had three so far. And there's another one coming up this month, or in the month to come, May 13th from 3 to 4 Eastern. You too can spend some time learning about instructional routines in community with other educators and professional developers. The forum, I put the link in the chat. This is to give your feedback on which instructional routine you'd like to see. Kick the tires on, try it out in community. So I encourage you to sign up for that. If you are a member, wonderful. Thank you for supporting the organization. If your state or your organization would like to become a member, we have group memberships. You have to have a minimum of 16 people and you get a discount for that. And with that group membership, you also get a free 1-hour ANN-led PD session for your program or for your state. And so if you're like, that sounds great, but I need more than an hour, I need you guys to present at our state conference. We also do that. You're welcome to email us at the email address that I'll also provide in the chat in a moment. But this is one way that you can continue to deepen your understanding of instructional routines and strengthening your practice as a professional developer is to be in community with organizations like ours. And we invite you to do that and to join us.
And I invite you to type something in the chat and not hit send yet. That's what a waterfall chat is. So you have several prompts to choose from. What idea did you have reinforced today? Or what new idea are you taking away? What will you do as a result of this session? So type something into the chat. Sentence structure is not necessary, just a quick thought. And then we will all hit send at the same time. And before we hit send, I'll just point out that there's some links you may want to grab from Heidi coming into the chat right now, the form for registration and the membership email too.
And I'll be sure to put these in the forum as well. And I believe these can also go out, Jennifer, in the follow-up email. Great, thank you.
All right. Type some kind of reflection. Are we ready to hit send? It's impossible for me to know how much time to allow. Any thumbs up that you're ready? I got 2. That's fraction-wise, that's not really enough in the array that I see of pictures of you on my screen. Oh, I got 3. Okay. And I know that finding that button takes a minute too. All right, hit send. What's our reflections? Flexible thinking. I love that phrase when it comes to math. Different reasons to start using instructional routines. They build culture, community, identity. Being time generous is a quote from somebody. And want to explore more of the ANN instructional routines. Cool. Thank you. We also have my email and Heidi's email. And feel free to reach out to us individually. And next up is more with Jennifer.
Well, thank you, Connie. Just want to give a big thanks to both of you again, to Connie and Heidi, for not only your time, but your expertise. And I just wanted to share a couple of quick things with you. I think, Connie, is there a slide before this one that has anything about the AALPD discussion group?
That was replaced. I have them in the slides from last time, which I probably can grab pretty quickly.
Well,
but it was replaced with a different one this time.
I am going to put in the chat this information. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, so I know that Heidi and Connie mentioned they were going to put some resources into Groups IO. That is the AALPD discussion group that we have. It's really grown a lot and pretty quickly, actually. So I know I'm on there. It's just a great place to connect, gain resources, talk about our practices. If you are not yet a part of that group, the information is right there on the screen or in the chat. You can email David J. Rosen. There is his email address. And this information can go out post-webinar as well for you. And then the other thing that we just wanted to point out, and I'm just looking at the time. So Connie, you can move ahead actually to the upcoming events, if that's okay. There we go. This is the most important that I want to get across. So we do have some upcoming events. Every month we do try to host a webinar. Again, this is all volunteer. We're really excited for our webinar on May 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. This is our annual member meeting and sharing session. It's just a fun opportunity for everyone to get together and talk about ideas, things that they've been working on, sharing resources. So we have a great hour planned together for that. And then on June 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be hosting a webinar called Designing Effective AI Professional Development from Learning Objectives to Tool Selection. So please be on the lookout. We did send an email out already for the May 18th sharing session. A reminder will be going out soon. And the June 17th webinar information will be emailed following that. So with that, we just want to thank you again, Connie, Heidi, everybody who's here today. I hope you found great value in this. I did. I had to participate a little bit, even though I was trying to pay attention in the background. Every time I'm with Heidi and Connie, I get engaged in math, which says a lot, not being, a big math person. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for all your willingness